I'm back again in a very unusual move, but I think it is necessary. As you know, yesterday we talked about the brand new Red Band trailer for Season 6 of Game of Thrones on NerdAlert. We had recently only seen it. It had just dropped before we shot it, so most of our video was, oh my god, what is that? Who? Huh? Which I don't think is the best review or recap or discussion we could give you, so let's do that right now. There will be many spoilers as I go on. I'm just giving you that heads up now so you don't threaten to crucify me in the comments. What we start on early on is a pretty forlorn image of Jon Snow. He's dead. All hope is gone. Jaime arrives back at King's Landing with presumably his illegitimate daughter's body, and Cersei is not happy about that. Clearly, Cersei has been beaten down. We do see her getting up into I will not be one to be effed with mode after this, and I don't know how long she is for this world. I mean, many people kind of don't think she's going to last that much longer, but she is going to go with a fight before she goes down. Back in the north, we see the Onion Knight doing some, he's brooding, he's walking around. Presumably this is right after Jon Snow's died. They're making deliberations. Going back to the north, we see Roose Bolton not looking pleased with Ramsay. We see a flayed man, which is what the Boltons do to their enemies on the field. It is presumed this is not Stannis, because if Stannis were dead, his head would have been lopped off by Brienne, or we'll get to that soon. Next we have, from those flames, we move over to Melisandre, who's having a huge crisis. Well, she's believing everything she's done is wrong. The great victory saw in the flames, it was all a lie. One can assume she maybe thought that Stannis was the one. He's not the one. Perhaps Jon Snow is the one, which seems to be heavily leaning into. Next we move to Daario and Jorah. They see exactly where Dany was taken by the Dothraki. He finds her ring somehow, and the Dothraki see, which seems very unlikely. But he does, they're on the trail. And moving on to Dany, I'm sorry I messed this up when we were looking at the original trailer for our first view. I did not notice the Dothraki in the background. Clearly she is going to the Dothraki capital with the horse statue in the background. She's probably going to spend a little time in chains. I hope that right away this changes and we see her back in action, no longer a prisoner. And one can assume that with the appearance of the classic shot of Drogon being Drogon. It's a Game of Thrones trailer. What would it be without him? Moving away from there back to Westeros, the High Sparrow he seems up for battles. The Faith Militant versus Lannisters and Tyrell seems to be another theme that might be very, very strong in this season as we move on. We'll talk more about Marjorie. It does look like that she is accepting an offer for help. She does have all her hair though, so we'll see how that goes. Moving over to the Iron Islands, it looks like a Kingsmoot is happening, so there's going to be some clashes and struggles for power there. The next couple shots, we see Sansa looking very warm and dry in her northern robes. It's assumed she's with a Stark loyal house at this point, perhaps House Umber. We do see their sigil later on with the circular thing with the chains. It's edited with Tyrion. Now, originally I thought that Tyrion and Sansa were together at this point. I think I was way wrong, and I kind of fell for the editing in which it was assumed that they were talking to each other. Tyrion seems to be dealing with the Sons of the Harpy, Meereen. That'll probably be where he's focused this season, or at least for the top half. I don't think they're anywhere near each other upon second gander. Back to King's Landing again. Lancel Lannister in full crazy mode tells Cersei, order your man to step aside or there will be violence. And then of course we see Sir Robert Strong, which is the reanimated version of the Mountain. That is a tall order for Lancel Lannister to say. He will probably also be part of the Dead Lannister Club very, very soon. Next, we move to the craziest part of the trailer, which is, this is the part that every fan and their mother has been thinking will happen, hoping will happen, and leading to the theory that everyone has about Rhaegar, Lyanna, Jon Snow's real parentage, etc., because this is the Tower of Joy scene, seemingly. Now, we had heard news before that they were filming in Guadalajara, Spain, next to the castle, and it really seems to be it. It has what looks like the Red Mountains of Dorne which is where the Tower of Joy is located and why everybody is so firmly, staunchly believing this is what's going to happen. The lead man on the far left definitely appears to be young Ned Stark, and as we look forward we get more indications that these men are wearing Stark armor, and this is in the past. There's another strange editing cut with what looks like to be King Tommen leading his Kingsguard directly in conflict with Cersei. I don't know if this is actually what's happening or if it's just edited to look that way. I guess Tommen is stepping up this season. I find that hard to believe, but sure. I mean, it's the only way that scene makes sense right there. We have another one of those sequences with a lot of scenes that are very short, back to back, including, I'm not really sure who's charging into battle. I'm not sure who's really at sea right now in these shots. It could be anyone as far as I'm concerned. If you know, I'd love to hear your theory. We see Arya, who seems to be not doing so well either after her end in season 5 with the blindness. One shot of Littlefinger in the whole trailer. He does appear to be in the north. I don't think he's on good terms with Sansa at this point. More scenes in which we can't identify the subjects. I want to say Wildling Bolton. I don't know. It looks like there's a massive impact or explosion in Meereen. There's a quick shot of someone getting an Iron Island baptism. It seems like it's Theon. It's probably Euron. I want to zoom forward again to a man who is wearing Targaryen armor. This adds more credence to the storyline about the Tower of Joy. Probably Rhaegar's Kingsguard fighting, again, what looks to be Stark armor. The man in the bottom right-hand corner definitely looks like a young Ned Stark himself, which is really exciting because that means what everyone thought and hoped is happening looks to be happening. I hope we're not getting massively trolled by HBO, which has been known to happen before. There's another shot of Sansa, though this time she is running for her life. Perhaps it's from the same scene we see earlier with Theon, also looking pretty scared and as if he needs to duck and cover at this point. And then we get this vision that it's interesting. It's Bran. He has had one of those cool things that the Harry Potter kids have done with their hair changing lengths as they get older, back and forth. He's standing, which makes it seem like that it is definitely a dream and not something that's actually happening because there's a White Walker. And then finally we get to the last scene in which Sir Davos delivers probably the best line. I've never been much of a fighter. Apologies for what you're about to see. It looks as if he's going to stab at Jon Snow, but I think what he's doing, and I think what a lot of people think he's doing, if we're going back to the earlier theory, is that he's protecting Jon Snow's corpse so that Melisandre can do whatever it is she's doing. We saw earlier in which it looked as if she was covering his eyes shortly after another scene. I don't know if, again, this is tricky editing to make it look like this is whatever ceremony she wants to conduct or what have you. It seems odd that HBO would dare to put that in the trailer along with the scene with the man on horseback who looks a lot like Jon Snow. That could be an accident or it could be a coincidence. I'm leaning towards that's not Jon Snow because it's too much. It's a little too obvious and I feel a little bit like it's a trick. But there's a lot of things we can take away from this. Cersei and Sansa look like they're going to go into full-on fight mode or fight mode in the game mode in this season, which will be very exciting. We've heard Sophie Turner say this is going to be a huge season for Sansa and that she'll be a character that is formidable and that we can love, which I would love to see her live up to the Stark name and take control and take power. And then we also have the big blows, which are Jon Snow not dead or just a little dead, but coming back to the living through whatever form Melisandre is doing. And of course, the Tower of Joy storyline, which is everyone's dream come true. Audience, let me know what you think below. I'm sure you have your own competing theories, and I'm sure some of you think all of this is pointless and we're all just being trolled. That's fine too. Totally valid. Let us know below in the comments, and please like and subscribe for more.